interventions. This can be further complicated by lack of understanding of the legal implications of our actions and inactions within domestic relations. Together, let's explore the legal and social issues that impact our marriages and families and gain a deeper understanding of how to navigate these complex relationships with empathy, wisdom, and legal awareness. Join Chioma ONYENUCHEYA-UKO every Thursday at 9 p.m. on the People's 105.5 FM Abuja for an intimate conversation in our family law talk show, Late Night Intercourse. Late Night Intercourse, only on the People's 105.5 FM Abuja. It's all about you.
Welcome to tonight's episode of your enlightening family law talk show, Late Night Intercourse. As always, your host is Chioma ONYENUCHEYA-UKO, the Zest family lawyer. And we're coming live to you on your favorite radio station, People's 105.5 FM, Abuja, the station that's all about you. Tonight, we will be discussing the topic that are framed as Superman Syndrome, the hidden price of male privilege and why men cry in their cars or over bottles. Yes, that's what we're discussing tonight. Why do men cry, in their hidden places? Why do they sit over bottles of drinks just to shed some tears? Why do they lock themselves up in their cars, in the bathrooms, the places where they know nobody will see them or where they imagine no one will see them, to shed some tears? Why does that happen? What is Superman Syndrome? That's what we'll be discussing tonight. And, we'll be exploring the hidden price of male privilege in Nigeria. We will discuss why men often cry in their cars and over bottles, and how religion, culture, and societal expectations impact the mental health of men. Yes, and how that also has impact on family life. So we'll be looking at the outdated gender roles and unfair family law practices that place an overwhelming burden on men in our society. So I'm not going to be doing this alone. Of course, I'll be the one speaking from this end. But because this is an intercourse, I will be expecting for you to lend your voice to this conversation. I would like to hear your thoughts. I would like to hear what your opinions are. I would like to hear you share an experience or two, that is relevant to this conversation topic. And I would appreciate if you have questions. I'll be willing to answer them as best as I can. And if strong. Men are supposed to, be strong. Men are supposed to, be unfeeling, shouldn't be able to, men shouldn't they shouldn't show weakness. They shouldn't show vulnerability. They shouldn't complain. They should just have it together per time. They should be providers. They should be able to provide. All of those, stereotypes, all of those expectations of society, all of those molds that men have been cast in is what the Superman, and I had mentioned that is epitomized in some of our sayings, one of the commonest being, men don't cry. So you will find in most families that where a young boy is just being human, where he feels pain and he wants to express it, one of the easy ways to shut him up will be, no, boys don't cry, big boys don't cry, men don't cry. And no matter how hurt that child feels, the child begins to learn to internalize their pains, to mask it, to not express it, even when it's killing them inside, So that's what Superman syndrome is about. And the question really is, does that make men supermen, or does it make them scapegoats? Are they inadvertently being pruned to become scapegoats to societal narratives and expectations? And, yes, they are the head of the family, but do they also realize that with that headship, there is an undue expectation or burden on them to also be ATM? Yes, they are also the family ATM. That's what it means. And it means that they have to also be the security guard, the unpaid therapist. They are just those ones who have to. They just have to be strong, whatever that strong means. Or however the society, raises up that expectation, they are supposed to just be strong. So the question again is, does it make them supermen, or does it make them scapegoats? And, this means that they are carrying a lot of weight, a lot of burden. And this is the reason is simple. The reason why that is because of gender imbalance in our society. When you talk about gender equality, a lot of people perceive gender equality as, you be an affront from, the proponents, particularly if that proponent is a woman. They believe that how can she be talking about gender equality? How does she want to dare, raise herself to the status of a man? Many men do not realize, or many people do not realize, that in gender equality is liberation for most men. Because in gender equality, everybody of the both gender are able to harness potentials to the fullest, and no undue expectations or burdens are placed on the other. That's what gender equality is about. It means that each of us, regardless of our gender, are able to optimize capacity. It doesn't matter that this is a relationship between a man and a woman, whether it is in marriage or in some other intimate partner relationship. It doesn't matter. What will matter is between the both of them, who can pay the bills? Who has the more, articulate faculties? Who is able to provide or protect the other more? Whoever that person is, that person should wear that cap. It does not emasculate a man, no. It simply affords him an opportunity to be human. And where the man has the capacity to fully rise to any billing, of course, yes. That's what gender equality is about. So, this Superman syndrome, which we are foisting on our men, which inadvertently, because I know that wasn't the intention initially, occasions undue burdens on them, that has far-reaching negative implications both for themselves and their families is simply because of gender inequality. And so, while it accrues some sort of advantages to them, some male privileges to them, like inheritance rights, like, leadership roles and decision making and all of those, it also puts undue pressure to them. The pressure to provide, the pressure to mask, their emotions, the pressure to be strong at all times, whether they feel strong or not. Whether they truly feel strong in that moment or not. And this is regardless constitutional provision that speaks about equality. The Constitution expects that we are all equal before the law. Yet, culture, tradition, religion, and other societal narratives continue to perpetuate that ideology, that principle, that concept, that belief, that orientation of a man being superior to a woman, whatever that means. And you find that manifestly, evident in our cultural laws, in our native laws and customs. So it doesn't matter that the female is older, so long as she's female and the other is male, regardless their ages, regardless their attainments, regardless their capacity, the male takes preeminence over the female. The question again is male privilege, is it really a privilege? Does it afford men, real super status, or does it burden them as scapegoat? I would like to hear your thoughts on that. While I continue, in sharing my opinion on this subject, I would love for you to call in with your experience, your opinion, or even your question. And the number to call will be 091 12 22 1055. Wherever you're watching from, wherever you're listening from, you can be part of this conversation by calling in. Again, the number to call is 091, I'll take it again, 091 11 12 1055. Let's hear your thoughts. The other thing is, that breadwinner burden and how it manifests in the Nigerian marital or matrimonial laws. Yes, in Nigerians' matrimonial laws. Under, marriage under native law and custom, which is the predominant kind of marriage we have in Nigeria. Most of the people in Nigeria are just married under native law and custom. Under native law and custom, the man is responsible for economic provisions, financial provisions, providing for the family. It is the man's responsibility. Nobody wants to know if this man has the mental, educational, or emotional and other capacity to so adequately provide. It is the expectation. It is the additional family. So it may also include, parents, in-laws, sisters and brothers-in-law, all of those. So the man needs to answer himself, is he ready? Meanwhile, the person who is going to be the partner in that union, the spouse, the person he is going to get married to, a co-adult, may not necessarily be expected to answer that same question because of our skewed culture. So the woman gets married to the man even if she has no means of livelihood, and then sometimes, yes, it is even the men themselves who say, no, I don't want my wife doing this, I don't want my wife doing that, Or how can a married woman be working from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.? Or how can this and that? Further ensnaring himself in that, under that burden. And you find that even in the Matrimonial Causes Act, the act talks about, support, spousal support. And it's typically from the man. So it means that breadwinner burden has over time, in our practice, in our culture, in our beliefs, it has become an acceptable norm. But a norm that, as far as I'm concerned, does not change, except for egotistical reasons, where you find men say, no, I am the man. It's I don't know how what benefit it really serves them. Which is why I'll repeat, the conversation on gender equality must re-engage on that conversation. It is a critical conversation. Not to undermine men. No. But for the mutual benefit of both gender and for society at large. Imagine a scenario where a man loses his job and then maybe a woman also loses her job. We're looking at two different scenarios now. The situation when a man loses his job is like a red alert situation. It's almost like a man losing his manhood. It's like a man losing his essence. It's like a man losing, like, what else is remaining of him if a man loses his job? So it's about time that we interrogate all of this. If a man is going to be perceived as he has failed because he's unable to provide financially, how come that is only a narrative for men? Yet, God has imbued all of us, regardless our gender, with thinking faculties, with the presence of mind, with the capacity to be productive in every way, to be productive. Yet, it is the man's burden because society says so. And this is a responsibility that is not only in marriage, even in families. Yes, I know that there are peculiar burdens that women bear in the families, particularly if we look at maybe the first daughter situation that is common. But if you also look deeper at it, you find out that for some of these women, it is because they have men who are their backbone. So there is still a man behind the picture. There is usually, not at all times, because there are many women who have earned their coins, who are doing exploits and are paying the bills. Granted, there are. Unarguably, there are. Respectfully so. But I'm saying that the burden on men, which shouldn't be men, becoming superior to men. No. There is no basis for any need for superiority. It should not be on the basis of gender. Even the weak have their strengths. And there is no shame in admitting a vulnerability or a weakness that is real. It will be self-deceit for anybody to mask it and purport they can, when in truth they cannot. And one of the dangers in this is how, the hidden costs in family relationships. All those emotional suppression, how it impacts on the marriage and even in parenting. Most most fathers are absent in the lives of their children because many of them are unable to actively participate in the raising of their children, in the early stages of their children. Since then, it drives a wedge between them and the children subconsciously. They may not realize it. And then when it comes to make a pick, the children picks the parent they know, the parent they relate with, the parent they connect with. And that parent would mostly be the mother. Of course, not in all instances. Of course, yes. There are men who have aced the skill or the craft of being providers and yet being available and all of those in one wholesome. There are, but those are the exceptions. So the usual will be that the man is unable to meet some other needs because he's focused on meeting the need to provide the financial needs of the family. So it actually puts a strain on their relationships with family, their relationships with marriage, and I need to specially also mention their relationships with their children, though that's all part of the family relationships I'm talking about. And then it may also occasion hostilities, conflicts in the home. That's one of the reasons why domestic violence remains on the rise in the families, whether they are by physical abuse or any form, emotional, financial, psychological, verbal, however else. One of the things that drive domestic violence is the pent-up pressure on both parties occasioned by the inequalities. So the man who is unable to meet his needs sometimes lose it. Meet his obligations, sometimes lose it. And the woman whose needs cannot be met and who cannot, is not really allowed full expression to pursue maybe a career, a business or something, may also lose it. And the woman, the man who believes in the wealth, though he knows he is unable to, and then he sees his wife rising to the billing in the family's interest, the man begins to feel, less than a man and thinks that his ego is at stake and feels affronted. Instead of appreciating that woman, you find that man being irrational. So, rights that he can enjoy. When you talk custody may go to the woman for reasons that are easily understandable, including the fact that she is the one who is able to provide, or satisfy the children's emotional needs, or the one who is available to pay attention to their upkeep. Even rights of access most times will be so argued. The woman feels, no, if I allow him access, he will take the children. If I allow him access, he may not be very responsible. That would mean access to his girlfriends, to his other women, to people, third parties who I don't trust. All of those concerns are the consequences of the Superman syndrome. Then you also find subjects of inheritance feature. They say it is a man's world, Abby. And then a family has both male and female children. And when it's time for inheritance, the inheritance will go to the men and rarely to the women. And you hear things like, yes, it has to be kept in the family. A woman will marry tomorrow. How will she marry and take the family's wealth to another place? Meanwhile, this woman is a treasure to that family. The family celebrates her, appreciates her, values her as a person, right? They don't mind allowing this wealth, this treasure, this thing that they cherish. They don't mind giving it to another person in marriage, But then we then begin to consider mundane things, other assets that are actually inferior in quality and value to this person that you have willingly given out. You then think it is, you cannot give out those, as if it's even a giving out in the real sense of it. The rationale for discrimination against women in inheritance rights is ridiculous. It is repugnant to natural justice, equity, and good conscience. But more importantly, and more relevant to the conversation of tonight, is that it further perpetuates the burden on men. Because for every female that is deprived inheritance rights, that is an addition to the burden on men to cater to the needs of that woman. So it means that when she comes to marriage, she comes, with little or nothing. Meanwhile, the man is equipped to start off with something. And that little something that he's equipped with, he has to spend on taking care of the one who has nothing. So you'll find that most women will have their needs met. They are running to their uncles, their fathers, their brothers, their sons. There's always somebody who has to pick up those bills. Why don't we instead opt for equality of the genders so that each can develop capacity to fend for themselves, thereby relieving the burden on the other? Isn't that a better way to look at it? So it means that the men remain stuck in providing for everyone. If you look at the statistics, except for maybe cases of possible maternal deaths in the course of bringing forth a child, the odds, it's usually the men who die earlier. And what are the reasons? Yet that same man will want to resist any conversation around gender equality, not realizing that in resisting it, he's actually resisting liberty. He's resisting, he's resisting some freedom. He's shortchanging himself. Because whatever it is he calculates as a benefit, it's pyrrhic. I don't know what benefit there is. Yes, he sits at leadership tables. Yes, he inherits. Yes, he does all of those. But with it comes attendant burdens to meet the needs of those who don't have what he has. So why not liberate the space? Why not allow everybody equal opportunity? That way, we're each fending for ourselves and supporting who else is weak, regardless the person's gender. So when those conversations are advanced for equity to up the opportunity for women, it is because more women need to rise to the responsibility table, the formal responsibility table, so that more women can become empowered to also help, including helping men. Because whatever it is the women also get for themselves, it won't just be for themselves. It won't be only for the women. It will be for the benefit of everybody, including their fathers, their uncles, their husbands, their boyfriends, whoever else is in their lives or within the society. So it is a practice that those self-inflicted, I'll repeat that, because this culture, this tradition, these beliefs were set up by the men. And maybe yes, it served them at the time, but as trends emerge, as times change, due to the dynamism of life, I think it's about time that men begin to realize that when women are saying accelerate action for equality, for progress, for the rights of women, they should be at the forefront, chanting that, supporting the women, because in accelerating action for women's rights, it is also accelerating action for men's relief. It is in their informed self-interest for men to become gender champions, so that everybody can have an equal access to whatever resources are available, to whatever opportunities are available, because in doing that, we then optimize output, we will optimize benefits, and it will be mutually enjoyable. If you have an experience you want to share, or you have a question you would like to ask, or it's just an opinion on this conversation, maybe you don't even agree with me, whatever it is, I will love to hear you share with me. It is an intercourse, like I've said, late night intercourse. Please call in, and the number to call is 091 1222 1055. The number again is 091 1222 1055. You may also call 091 1112 1055. Let's hear your thoughts. Let's hear your opinions. Let's hear that question. I'd like to hear your question, because I'll be happy to answer it. And it may just also be an experience you want to share. We learn from, one another's experience. So please call in and share it. And if you're not already following us, please follow us on Facebook on 105.5 FM Abuja, on Instagram at peoplesfm_Abuja, and on X at peoples1055 FM. You can also follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn on Chioma ONYENUCHEYA-UKO. On Instagram and TikTok, it is The Zest Family Lawyer. And on X, it is at ONYENUCHEYA-UKO. Please follow already, so that you will always be part of these conversations. And please tell me, have you or anybody you know ever had to bear the burden, the weight of the Superman syndrome? Was it your father? Are you the one? Do you know somebody who has borne that weight? What do you think about it? Is it something you think the law should begin to look at? Is there any proposal you have, or something you think should begin to happen differently? I would like to hear that. And then I had spoken about divorce, and I said, that usually when it comes to custody matters during divorce, it will usually favor the women because of the implications of this Superman syndrome. And the other factor then will be, even when it comes to maintenance, financial obligations during divorce, it would usually also be the men bearing it the most. So you usually find unfair settlements, even where some women earn a living, even where they work. You'll find that the woman wants custody of the children, she gets custody of the children, she also gets the man providing for accommodation, providing for education, providing for feeding, providing for clothing, general welfare of the children, medicals, all of those. Yet, that man may not be, perceived as fit to even enjoy any reasonable access to the children. Again, I'll pose the question, is it really, a privilege? Does it really make the man, Superman? Or is our society inflicting on our men? Are they scapegoats to these social constructs? Are we killing our men without realizing it? And I'm not at all inferring that it is the women killing the men. Not at all. Not at all. Because I imagine that many women will be happy to fully, enjoy their rights to participate in contributing to society, to family life, to their marriages. So what I'm saying is that all those culture, all those customs, all those tradition, all those social expectations that elevate the man above women or above the woman, those are the real culprits. It is those that are killing our men. And the earlier the men realize it, the earlier the men realize that it is better for them that the women rise to that table with them, it is relief for them. Not relief in the manner of that the man wants to become a weakling. No. Not relief that the man wants the woman to take over. No. But it means that the both of them can cross-fertilize ideas. Both of them can deliberate issues and reach, mutual decisions. Both of them can optimally contribute to the growth, to the development of their family, their marriage, the society, and all of those. Both of them will be able to fully harness their potentials and express themselves productively. And who is talking about the emotional burden and the consequences? In my caption, I spoke about crying over bottles. And that was deliberate because for many men who drink, it's not just because there is a pleasure in the taste, in the bite, of alcohol, in those spirits. It is in the relief it gives them, even if momentarily. And then some of them actually get addicted to the bottles, to some other substance. Many of them begin to indulge in things that further deteriorate their health. Many of them battle depression. So these are all the costs of that Superman syndrome, particularly because they have to keep providing. They are not allowed to, show weakness. They cannot, they have to keep masking. They have to keep internalizing. And it's not just for when they become adults. It's not just for when they begin to raise a family. It starts from even when they are babies, when they are young boys. You're supposed to be a boy. How can you, a big boy, how can you do this? Be a man. You're supposed to be a man. Even when that person is dying, even when being a man is killing the person continues to be a man. Because society expects him to be a man. Many of them will suffer high blood pressure and the rest of those, will I say emotion-induced ailments. And many will die early. So can we begin to save ourselves? In fact, let me pose the question to the men. Can you begin to save yourselves by saying yes to gender equality for your good, in your self-interest, in your informed interest? There will be those, there may be those people who prefer to just be macho and it's working for them, fine and good. There may be those women too who want to sit pretty and just be trophy. Fantastic. So long as it is mutual between the parties, that is fine. If that's what they both want, all right. But that cannot be, continue to be the general narrative. Our customs we must revise those customs. And again, I'll reiterate, not because we want women to take over from men. That doesn't advance society. That's not the argument. That's not the campaign. But so that the men and the women will complement one another, will complement each other, and optimize capacity, optimize potentials. That's the idea. So there should be shared financial responsibility between both of them. That won't happen if the woman does not enjoy equal opportunities with the man. So equal opportunities has to happen for both of them to also enjoy shared financial responsibility. The woman should have the liberty, the right to earn just as the man does. We cannot continue to relegate our women only to, informal or to unpaid domestic labor. Yes, somebody has to do the hard work, I agree. Somebody has to, but who says both parties cannot take turns in doing what they can both do? There are families where that is already working. There are families where both of them contribute to domestic chores. There are families where, both parties contribute in everything. And it makes the burden lighter on both sides. I'm not saying that any of the responsibilities is easier, but I know you also understand what I mean. So it's about time we begin to implement those laws that uphold, that promote gender equality, those policies of government. It's about time we sign on to them as individuals. The laws are already there. The Constitution is clear. So it's about time we begin to accept them, implement them, believe in them, promote them, enforce them. It's about time also that we end, all this male dominance, which does not truly serve the interest of the men in the long run, except that many do not see it. So we need to ensure legal, economic, and emotional balance in our relationships, starting from how we raise our children, what we teach our sons. We've been raising our daughters, to be in tune with their emotions. That is easily the case in most homes, while the boys are losing that right. It is a right that nature has given them. If men are not supposed to cry, I don't think God is foolish. I don't think God will infuse men he will enable them with the tear ducts for tears. He wouldn't do that. My belief of him, he's not one for wastages, right? So if that be the case, it then means that God will not give men the tear ducts if they were not supposed to cry. They won't even have the capacity for the emotions in them so that they don't start masking it. It wouldn't have been there. So it's about time, that we end this Superman syndrome that we continue to perpetuate in our families, in our society. It's about time. It should be a choice for anybody to be Superman. Yeah, you'll find people who may be, who may want to be, who has the capacity to be. That's okay. So when we find those people and they want to be, let it be their choice. Let it not be because the society expects them to. Society, holds them up to such a responsibility. No. That will be most unfair. So gender equality is the way to go. We have to do away with all these outdated expectations. Please, let us encourage emotional expressions. It is okay. It is not you under any pressure, because once that person reaches melting pot and they lose it, the same society will blame them. Because yes, it's their choice. They had a choice to say no. They had a choice to express themselves. So let's stop giving in to all of those, societal expectations and pressure. It's also time that we promote gender equality, because it is in gender equality that men will enjoy some relief and save their mental health and save themselves. It is critical because the men are part of us. I don't know of any woman who wants a society or a world where there are no men. No. Wives want to grow old with their husbands. Daughters want to, have their fathers live to ripe old age. They want to nurse their old fathers, play with them, enjoy, provide for them, just enjoy more time with them. Sisters want their brothers alive. Girlfriends want their boyfriends alive. So it's not a competition, it's not a rivalry. We're not fighting each other. No, that's not what it is. So the men need to be alive. The men need to be okay for life to also be wholesomely meaningful for the women. So when we preach gender equality, it is because we know that in that equality, the men will also benefit, just as the women will gain some benefit. In fact, society will benefit. So it is important that we continue to educate, to enlighten and create the awareness for people to understand this. That's why I'm having this conversation this evening. I was hopeful that you were going to share your thoughts and we cross-fertilize ideas on this subject. I get to experience, I'm listening to your perspective, and many more people can hear from all of us. I would have loved for that to happen. I hope that still happens in the few minutes that we have left. But this is a call for both genders to optimize capacity, to complement each other. Again, it is not a competition. It is not rivalry. No, it is not. It is not. It is for both of us. It is for the mutual benefit of both gender. Let's embrace and implement the laws. We already have the laws. We have them. We have them. We have it in the policies of government. Let's embrace it. Let's train our girls in schools. Let's retain our girls in schools. Let's not marry off our girls too early. Let's allow our girls, fully harness their potentials. They should enjoy equal rights to inheritance, because that is what the law provides for. They should enjoy equal rights to leadership, to governance, to political participation. It is what, that's the lawful thing to do. So let us optimize every potential, and promote fairness in financial responsibility. And you will see how that will also begin to impact even on our custody matters. So at the end of the day, it will benefit the man, just as it will benefit the women. And really, it is for the benefit of the society. If you are not already following us on social media, please follow us on Facebook at 105.5 FM Abuja, on Instagram People's FM _Abuja, and on X at People's 105.5 FM. And if you haven't followed me already on TikTok or on Instagram, simply follow at The Zest Family Lawyer. On Facebook, it is Chioma ONYENUCHEYA-UKO. And on X, it is at ONYENUCHEYA-UKO. Please follow so that we can continue to engage, we can continue to share thoughts and have these conversations that will help you to handle or manage your marital or family relationships from a point of empathy, wisdom, and legal awareness. That's what every episode of Late Night Intercourse is, and we come to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. on your favorite radio station, People's 105.5 FM, Abuja, the station that's all about you. Looking forward to having you join me again next week for another robust conversation. And if there is any conversation you'd like me to take on, any topic you'd prefer that I discuss, maybe next week or some other time, feel free to send me a message proposing that topic at latenightintercourse@gmail.com. 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 If you send me a message asking a question on any subject within the family law spectrum that you want me to discuss, we will be taking it on at subsequent episodes. For tonight, it is good night from here. Do enjoy a restful night and see you same time next week. Bye-bye.